This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Joe. Today's special guests are two failed Army captains who are struggling to find a way through life.
Here's Trash Talk community. Welcome to episode 12. As always, I'm here with Joe, Nick, and our buddy Beckwith, Special Forces guy. He's going to be sharing his honesty cap with us. Our special guests for today are Kyle and Zach. All right, they're going to be sharing some cool stuff that they're doing, both veteran-owned businesses, and some really good information for the group. I'd also like to add that my birthday is today. I turned 29, so as you can see, I age extremely well. I'm almost in my 30s, and I will maintain that, and I'll continue to be the best-looking guy on this damn show. And Nick knows it, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Joe. Let's have a good show. Let's get this party started.
All right, Dave. Once again, way to not let facts get in the way of a good story. Great to be here. Happy birthday, brother. We love you. Soapbox wise, I always find myself gravitating towards what I see during the week. And, with the interview Nick just did with Miss Leah, if the community, if you haven't watched it, you need to, because the fortitude that she shows mentally and emotionally to draw a line in the sand and tell her story was incredible. And I hope that it resonated with the female community and the MST community the way that it should have, because I got to tell you, it made me late to do the things I wanted to do today because I stopped and watched the whole thing. I thought I'd catch a few minutes, and I ended up sitting down. And it leads me into, the other side of how I feel about, trauma and the way people deal with it. And the truth of it is, it's going to, I don't want to sound callous, but when it comes to trauma and the way you handle your own, sometimes the onus is yours to take the step forward to fix yourself, because only you really know what's broken. And if someone like Leah can have the guts to turn that light inward and figure out how to fix what she went through, then none of us that are breathing and have the ability to get there and get treatment should have any excuse not to do so. And this isn't me trying to say, man up, go get, but the fact of the matter is, you really do have to be careful going into the VA. You have to know what's going on within you, have the voice to actually say it, and then be open-minded to the treatment, because the sad fact of the matter is, you may not like the care you're getting, but that is the care that is going to be free, and it may be your only option in that moment. But our boy Preston Paris was getting ready to go home after he was in a bike wreck a few weeks ago, and he had to turn around and beg to get scanned one more time because he said he couldn't breathe. Turns out he had a level 4 or a grade 4, however you whatever the verbiage is for that, laceration to his spleen. They had to remove his spleen. He was bleeding out internally, and the chances of him living, if he would have went home, were not good. And if he didn't turn around and say that and say, hey, I'm hurting. And my point is this: don't walk into trying to get help with the chip on your shoulder. Don't walk in there like you're 6'6" and bulletproof, just to prove you're a man. Like you're letting them know, like, hey, I want to fix something in me that I need your help to do. So go at it with an open mind and have the courage to say, hey, this is wrong. You know, something's not right here, and don't shy away from it because of the stigma of what it means to come forward or what you think will happen if you come forward. Hey, look, something's broken. You need someone to help you fix it. So it doesn't make you less of a person in my book. That it makes you an intelligent person, and you have the courage to actually say, come help me. And that's all I got. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Nick.
Hey, awesome. Yeah, for those of you, like Joe said, for those of you that haven't watched it yet, Leah has an Instagram page. It's The Road to Wellness with Leah. So if you haven't went on there yet, go give her the support, because she's using her experiences to try to help others to the best that she can. She's still the non-commissioned officer in her. And if you watch the video, she says, you know, I didn't want to be the typical person. I wanted to, you know, she considered herself an asshole and a bitch, as she called it. Well, when she was hanging out with the infantry guys, well, that's what we are. We're assholes all day. The good leaders, most of the time, you know, aren't looked upon too highly by the people who aren't doing the right thing. So she was being a great NCO, and she still is carrying that tradition on, and she's trying to help others. So again, that's Road to Wellness with Leah. About 3 weeks ago, I called my friend Buddy, you know, and I said, hey, Buddy Beckwith, I need a hand. I need a favor. And of course, Buddy Beckwith, being the special forces guy that he is and great brother, he was like, of course, I'll help you, Nick. And I was like, I need you to guest host for me. And he's like, okay, I'll do it, because I'm going on vacation. And, you know, it's just absolutely a phenomenal guy to volunteer for that. Now, I was a little worried, because this gave the legend of 2P more than 2 weeks to prepare what he was going to say, prepare material. And you have no idea how humbled I was that he honored me by literally using the Book of Earl. He copied verbatim for his material my stuff. And
not true. Not true.
I mean, I need 10% truth, buddy. And if we go through, if we replay the thing, it's what happened. Okay, he's breaking up a little bit.
No, he's just confused about muting, so you might as well keep going.
Yeah, I didn't want to overtalk Buddy, but it's because he's traveling right now with his special cars. So. But hey, buddy, it's a compliment to me. I appreciate it. I know you could have come at me with some legendary stuff, but you honored me, and I really appreciate that, buddy. I mean, yeah, it's just, you can't believe how happy I was that you, the legend, used my material, used me, Nicholas Earl, the Book of Earl. He used it. So thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. On the serious note, I do want to talk kind of with what Joe was talking about, with the non-productive demons inside of you, all right, the cancers that are inside of you, and that we say on our website that if you want something defeated, you got to get it out. You got to get it out so your friends can help you. And like Miss Leah said on the video, she goes, if you want to get over trauma, you have to want to. And I thought that line was extremely powerful. And she said that, you know, every day I just wanted to be better than I was the day prior. And a lot of that really got to me. And part of it, too, is, which one thing I learned is you never want to do with somebody who's sharing their stories or their trauma, is, which we've talked about in a couple of soapboxes, is don't make it personal. You know, it's not about you. It's about the lady talking. It's about the man talking, whoever's sharing their trauma, their story. And when you watch the video, you can't see me, but my leg is just going up and down. I was getting mad. I was getting furious with what a woman had to deal with her entire career as a soldier, her entire career. I was getting mad, and everything I was saying is like, don't unmute your mic and say something that makes it about you. I was just doing my best, and Buddy knows that's hard for me because I love talking about myself, which is why I think he did reverse psychology and talked about me, and used all my lines. that being said, being healthy is extremely important, and that's physically and mentally. Now we're working on a sponsorship with Ventura Athletics, Training and Athletics, the guys who do the muscle activation. And, TBI doesn't have to be an acute injury. It's also PTSD. So if you've seen something or you're dealing with something, you have a brain injury, and those guys can fix it. So we're working on a way, because they're starting a nonprofit for veterans. We're working on a way with Stop Soldier Suicide that they can see veterans for free, and they get that care, that treatment. And we're also going to talk to Stop Soldier Suicide to start a fundraiser for people who are MST, as Leah said, is military sexual trauma. We're going to work on getting something started with that as well. One of the things I wanted to talk about with the crazy COVID stuff going on, regardless of your opinion, the news never plays the right narrative because it's the news. But why aren't we preaching that healthy people have nothing to worry about? The people who took care of themselves have nothing to worry about. And there are the weak ones that we need to take care of and watch out for. But as a whole, the majority of our problems as a society are self-inflicted. And those things don't ever want to get taken out and crushed. And you don't want to make that disciplined move to stop being fat, to maybe stop smoking, some of you. But it's like that is going to make you weaker. And it's pretty soon it's going to be the responsibility of somebody else to take care of you. And I
smoke so you can keep up, Nick.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. I've always been a faster runner than you. That's fact. So maybe back in 1985 when you got in the Army.
Yeah, but then when you get there, you can't even pick anything up. So, I've seen your running videos. They look a lot like walking videos, homie.
Well, that's because you weren't paying attention. I said when you're about to see the wizard, you got to take a break. And then you got to promote your show. So that's what I did.
Nope.
I was seeing the wizard. I took a break.
Nope.
I took a break.
No, if you're about to see the wizard, you don't have the presence of mind to make videos. Doesn't work. That doesn't work here. Go back.
Well, my wizard's a little bit more in shape than yours, probably because he doesn't smoke Marb Reds. But
if your wizard was in shape, he'd have kicked you in the nuts for wearing those M frames.
Yeah, I do like the M frames for running, especially non-military towns. I think they look cool. Everybody thinks you're cool. I mean, the Rangers wore them and Delta Force wore them like in the 80s, so that was awesome. So, I mean, why not carry that? Though. Anyways, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest. Our first guest is Kyle Baum. Now, again, I have to explain it that these guys don't hear the intro song before it comes on, but Kyle's a failed Army captain, and he got out and tried to do better things, so he decided to sell socks. Not quite sure the motivation for selling socks, but a little background on this guy. He, was a tremendous platoon leader, which is rare. He knew where he was on a map. We tried to fuck with him a few times on like Joe Axe's, where I was like, hey, we got to go that way. And he's like, no, we got to go that way. I'm like, no, we got to go that way. You don't know what you're talking about. He's like, no, we're going to go that way. So that's kind of a test. He passed it. He knew what he was doing. And then he went to Ranger Regiment. I don't know, maybe to get some M frames. That's probably why he went. So we'll let Kyle explain it. And Kyle, welcome to the show. Please tell us about yourself and your stories.
It was definitely for the M frames, 100%. That's the entire reason. It worked. I got them, and I got out, and that's pretty much it. I got out in 2015. Went to business school at the University of Chicago, and have been working boring corporate jobs since. So I've been out for 5 years now. What do you want me to dive into? You want me to talk sock stuff? You want me to talk more about
talk your veteran business all that stuff? Yeah.
There's something else he did, Nick.
Oh man, you're gonna go.
Nick, him and I were never we were never in the same. We were never in 2P at the same time, and I know his face. So what? I mean, ooh. Nick, you got a pointer like there's something about it.
Do you watch TV at nighttime?
There you go.
Yeah, you know what?
There we go.
But when we moved into this area, my wife and I would be considered newlyweds, and we watched Jeopardy religiously. Was it? That's it, dude. Were you on Jeopardy?
I think that was him. I think that
You
was
would
him.
know from my third place finish on Jeopardy. Finished with $0.
Babe, you remember the guy who went 0 for 6, like 6 questions in a row? No, they gave him money so he could play. No, he's on the. She doesn't believe me. All right, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Right,
they had to give him money. They had to give him money to play Final Jeopardy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
No. I had a little bit of money left on Final Jeopardy. I did miss the question that the answer was rebound, though. A basketball rebound. I buzzed in and couldn't think of the word rebound. So all in all, pretty embarrassing performance.
So then is that what drove you to the socks? Because when you realized that you didn't know anything random, you just wanted to sell socks?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it really showed me how little I knew, and I started from the ground up.
From rebound.
Literally. That's right. Yeah, rebounded with the socks. No, the socks, man. Jeopardy. Let me just say a side note on Jeopardy real quick. There are an uncanny number of people who tweet about Jeopardy. So the best part about it is Jeopardy shows in every time zone at a different time. And so I was following along on Twitter as the show was airing. So I got like 4 hours of tweets about my Jeopardy performance. And most of it was just talking shit, right? Most people were like, this guy sucks. A lot of like, people didn't like the way I wrote my name on the board. But plenty of very complimentary tweets from both sexes as well. So lots of interest out there.
I was hoping you had some dirt on Trebek, like he's just a total gangster and like slaps people around backstage.
No. Trebek's just kind of an asshole. He's just kind of he takes, he's just out there running the show, man. He's no nonsense. He doesn't have time he doesn't care about getting to know you. He just wants to they film like 5 episodes in a row. So
he can't be caught affiliating with the Minions.
That's right.
Yeah. So Kyle, talk about it's called Adam Socks, correct?
Adam Socks, ATOM. So I was in business school, did an assignment for one of the classes, and it was just basically about looking into some niche kind of direct to consumer businesses. So I did a little report on it, and it was around the time that a bunch of the military affiliated, the Black Rifle Coffees of the world, the Grunt Styles, so I did a project, and we, this group, we looked at like a bunch of the companies, and they were doing really well, and a lot of them still are doing really well. And as I looked at like companies in similar business models that were not veteran affiliated, one of the gaps was socks. And it was around the time that Stance was getting really big, right? Stance was blowing up. And so I just started working on it with a buddy who was a SF captain or a major, I think, when he got out at 5th group, and he was in business school with me. So we worked at it for a while together. And then I've just kept doing it. It's all part-time, it's on the side, but adamsocks.com. And it's kind of fun, man. It's more than anything, it's a way for me to learn more about business. I think it really helps to have some skin in the game, right? To be running something that's yours is completely different than my day job. It just forces you to learn different things, forces you to feel a different level of responsibility and accountability. So that's been really good. And then it's just cool to stay connected to the military community and do things like this and talk to guys that are still doing it, guys and girls, and through Instagram and Facebook and whatever else, kind of stay connected to a group that I care about and want to be connected with somehow. So that's the socks.
Pretty much summed up our mission statement, didn't he?
Yeah, right there. We know what you're feeling because we just started ourselves, and on top of our other jobs as well. So it's actually a really getting to know people who have done it before. We already know you, so that's an easy person that we can pick the brain of. And if you fail again at something, feel free to come aboard. We'll bring you on. Quick question about the major from 5th group. Did he have M frames?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, he's got M frames. Yeah, Good follow up though. And then what are you currently doing now?
Wearing them when you're not at work. I have M frames, Nick, you dumbass. Like, I've got M frames. I'm not wearing them because I'm not at work. Do you wear your brown? I bet you wear, speaking of socks, Nick, I bet you wear brown boot socks. I bet you Got him on right now.
No, I wear the
Say a
Adam
little story,
socks.
Nicholas.
I wear the Adam socks from Kyle.
There you go. You were asking a question.
I'm gonna tell you a little
I didn't
story,
hear the whole
Nicholas.
thing. What were you saying?
Yeah, well, I do actually wear the Adam socks that he sent me, and they are really nice. I don't run them though. I usually save that for my green ones that the Army issued me. But yeah, Kyle, I was asking you, what do you do now?
Yeah, so I left business school. I took a job at a tech company out here in Utah. I was there for about a year, and then I joined a business. It's a solar company called Blue Raven Solar. So if you get annoying solar salespeople knocking on your door ever, they probably work for us. So I do.
So that kind of goes with what you were trained for. You have a lot of guys door to door pretty good at that, right?
That's right. Yeah, the Mormon, bringing it full circle with the Mormons. That's right. We try to get all of our sales reps in bicycle helmets. They don't need them for the job, but it's ingrained in me to get the bicycle helmets on them. So
kind of like a path, it's kind of like a passage of ways to get into the company. You have to wear this bicycle helmet for 2 weeks while you go door to door.
That's right. Yeah, you wear the white shirt and the bicycle helmet, and then you're in. We up your pay after that point once you prove you can do it.
It's a way of
It's called the rite of passage. It's called the rite of passage, Nick.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at your sock comment. I'm trying to get over it, buddy. It was a good one.
Yeah, like I said, I have a great sock story that I think that I feel like it was you. I just didn't know you yet. We went to a frickin' those amateur strip nights in Fort Bragg. Some kid got up there. It was a private. Started doing his little show or whatever. Took his pants off and had brown Army boot socks on. They stopped the music. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember.
No.
I think that might have been you.
No, that was I had the brown underwear on. I still got those, and I still fold them and roll them too. They got to keep it only 5 per drawer. So hey, I think it's Buddy's time anyway. So go ahead and introduce Buddy.
Hey, Kyle, before Buddy gets started, absolutely. I mean, failed captain, whatever it is, it was an honor serving with you. We did have the best platoon in Charlie Company, well, in 2 Panther. I just want to add that. Highest PT score, most EIBs. And it was my honor because that was the first time as a platoon sergeant, serving with you. I think we killed it out there. So failed captain, whatever, but it was an honor serving with you. And
you're welcome. 6 of my 9 guys got their EIB that year, so you're welcome.
Yeah, we killed it. We killed it. But I'm just going to pass it. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the honor's all mine. It was maybe a little bit of success as a lieutenant, and then failed captain, and then failed Jeopardy. And
the problem is that would be my fault then, because I was your first platoon sergeant. So that would technically be my fault that you were a failed captain, and I don't think so. I mean, look at Nick; he's amazing right now, all thanks to me. But anyhow, I'm going to
passed up, Buddy.
I'm going to hand it over to Beckwith. I know he's got some things waiting. He's got some things cooking. So without further ado, the floor is yours, buddy.
So before I start the honesty cap, I want to say that I already know that Nick is going to run his mouth about this one. And I hate the fact that 2 weeks in a row, Nick is going to find a way to get some weird bloated ego out of what I'm about to say. But I'm going to say it anyway. Honesty cap time. I just spent about 3 days driving across the country through Nebraska, into Utah, Wyoming. And first of all, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Utah are legitimately beautiful places to drive through. And I suggest if you have some time and you really want to take a look at the country and feel good about where we're at, then you'll take some time and ride through there. That being said, I don't know what driver's manuals they're using in the Midwest, but they need to send those down to the South, because not one time did I have to worry about people not merging over. Not one time did I have to worry about slow traffic in the left lane. People just got over in the right lane, drove their cars like normal humans would. I don't know if it's the literacy rate might be higher and they can read. I don't
that's
know
part of it.
What it is, but honesty cap, Midwest drivers, probably the best drivers in the United States right now. That's all I got.
Beck, you got to bring more, Beck. You got to go at Nick a little bit. I mean, I was expecting something serious here.
He can't because he's talking about the Midwest where I'm from, and he knows that's going to boost my ego.
If I say anything else, if I give any more props to the Midwest, Nick's head will legitimately explode. And I like Nick at least a little bit. I'm not trying to ruin all those plaques that he spent so much money buying for himself.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just got to get your own stuff. You got to put the ball in your own court. You know, that's what you got to do. Yeah, the Midwest is the greatest place in the United States by far. The only thing we don't produce is skill level athletes in the football positions. We don't have anybody fast in the Midwest, but we do have a lot of linebackers and especially linemen. And then, but yeah, the Midwest knows how to drive. We know how to do everything. It is the literacy rate. We
did
know how to
produce
read.
tanks during World War II, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, America.
I feel like, honestly, it might be the fact that they got nothing to do all winter except for sit around and read driver's manuals.
Yeah, that and you never. Here's some tips for the Trash Talk Nation out there. Never gamble against the Midwest guy in bowling, pool, or darts because we spend 6 months of the year inside. So we are really good at the inside stuff. So that being said, I'm going to introduce our next guest, Mr. Zach Farkas, who has been patiently waiting. Now, Zach is another failed captain. He has decided to make more money on the outside, which is smart, but there is a lot of deep-rooted problems with Zach Farkas. And he's going to get on here and he's going to talk about it a little bit. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but he spent about 13 to 14 months in Ranger School. And he didn't get a tab. And I was a PI, a primary instructor in Florida while he was there. And he was getting talked about every 24-hour brief for 3 classes, where the colonel is like, can't we just wheel him out there and get him a tab? Because I think he had 17 goes in Ranger School. And we all know what happens to lieutenants when they get to an infantry unit and they don't have a tab. You know, they just get absolutely hazed. Now, he went to one of the softest infantry units in America, which is the 25th Infantry Division. So it did kind of help that he was there, but he still got all the shit in the world for not having a tab. And this guy's like, you know what? Fuck the Army. I spent 13 months in that damn school. I don't care what anybody else. I got 17 goes. You know, so Zach, without further ado, tell us about your business.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. And it was, a little bit of a fish story. I think it was 6 months and ago in Florida with Med Drop. So that was pretty fun. Winter 2013, 2014 with all those polar vortexes and stuff. So that was pretty nasty. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Been listening a little bit, tuned into some of your stuff and really good stuff and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I got out of the Army as a captain like Kyle. And Kyle, it's super cool, man. I just checked out your site with the socks and definitely gonna be ordering some. So that's really awesome. And I am a mortgage lender now. It is not fun. It's not cool. And if everybody in the Army that's listening thinks you have more free time in the Army, you don't. And taxes suck. But no, so my company, we specialize in VA loans, VA mortgages. We lend in all 50 states. And, as I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I'd say my mission right now is just to prevent people from getting ripped off because it's an ugly, ugly industry. I see a lot of stuff go down. I compete with a lot of people out here. It's a small island and a lot of misinformation and stuff like that. So if you check us out online, it's theveteransmortgagesource.com. We have all sorts of, you can do a VA webinar that teaches you all about your VA home loan benefit, what you should pay for, what you shouldn't pay for. how to avoid getting ripped off, stuff like that. So it's definitely not the most glorious job, but I do enjoy like staying connected with the military. Probably 98% of my loans are active duty military, so that's really cool. And yeah, so that's what I do now.
Yeah. Hey, Zach. So we had a show earlier that we talked about some of the real estate agents that are veterans. One of the SF guys, another guy that's out in Arizona by Dave. And is there ways that you could pair them up? Could we do something like on our website that said, hey, if you have a housing question, they know who to go to with us. But then like a mortgage question, we could put your website, you're the specific one you're going to send us to where people can ask you to make sure they're not getting ripped off. And then before you answer that, I have a comment on here from Tanya Dame that she said, never let Zach Farkas plant a ball. So do you want to go into why she's a smart, veteran herself. So can we go into why you as the S5 in a battalion, which that job doesn't really exist, but we made one for you because you were failing and then you didn't plant a ball properly. Would you care to go into that at all?
I don't, I think all the balls I planted went off without a hitch.
Okay, we'll have to bring Tanya on to vet that.
I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, maybe she got kicked out or something, or she's spitting spit on the floor or something. I don't know, but I thought they were great. Everybody got drunk, everybody had a good time, and, they're expensive, that's for sure, but it's Hawaii, so.
Yeah. Hey, now again, back to my original thing about getting connected with veterans. What's the best way for them to do that? And what would you say to them right now if they were watching?
Yeah, so I'd say, right now is really, really crazy times. I mean, I'm sure there's all sorts of media and stuff, but with what's going on in the economy, interest rates are at an all-time low, and I'd say that the number one thing that people need to watch out for is refinances. So I hate doing refinances. I like doing purchases, but refinances are like the number one way that you can get ripped off. So I see a lot of times, like I'll be talking to someone, I'll be like, hey, I'm at a 2.5% today, which anything under a 3, you're beating inflation, you're making money on an asset, right? And always do research on your market. But so I'll be talking to a guy, and I know where my company's at. Like I've moved companies 3 times in 2 years because I want to get people the best interest rate and be able to guarantee a close quickly, provide customer service, stuff like that, right? So the number one thing I'll see is I'll be talking to somebody and they're like, oh, well, I have a 2.25 and you're telling me you're at a 2.5. And I'm like, yeah, the difference between me and that guy is my 2.5 is your loan amount's not going up and your closing costs can be your regular monthly housing budget and we're not skipping any payments, right? So what I'll see a lot of times is I came across a guy like 6 months ago. Is at this real estate seminar I was doing. And, he came to me, he's like, hey, I want to refinance. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like what's your interest rate? And his interest rate was like super low, like lower than it really should have been. And I was like, okay, like send me I'm like, we can't refinance you, but how do you get this low? And I'm like, send me your most recent mortgage statement. So what this lender did is he racked out like $30,000 on the dude's principal balance. So he owes like $25,000 more than what he could sell it for. So that's what starts like short sales and stuff like that. So after 2008, there was a bunch of legislation that was passed to prevent lenders from like churning refis and doing that, but you're still able to do it. There is like a 36-month recoupment to kind of prevent some of that, but I still see it all the time. So like my main goal is like just to try to talk to people like, hey, you should not be increasing your principal balance. And then, yeah, I mean, as far as connecting with us, like I said, that website or our Instagrams, we do lend in all 50 states. And then I'm bringing on a guy right now that he's going to primarily be focusing on like out-of-state lending just because I can't do it because I'm too busy here in Hawaii. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I feel like it's one on a huge fucking tangent, but that's what really just gets me going is like a bunch of lenders out there racking up fees, rolling it in the balance, not explaining stuff, and guys walking around think they have no cost loans. They paid no money out of pocket, but they racked up their loan balance, So.
Hey, Zach,
Yeah,
can you elaborate a little bit on like what the cap is? I know there's a big misconception with individuals, VA loans and stuff like that, that there's like a cap at the VA loan, or dependent on rank, and all those things have changed within the last couple of years. But could you elaborate a little bit on that for our viewers and our listeners?
Yes. Wait, am I muted? Okay. Yeah. So the number one thing before we get into so the VA publishes the regulation, right? And then every lender is going to put overlays or guidelines over that. So the really cool thing about my company is we don't have any guidelines, so we're straight VA guide. So whatever except for we do have a credit. We do obviously put a credit minimum on there. Ours is a 550. I mean, that's definitely the lowest in the country. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. I don't know. There's pros and cons. I mean, I help people with their credit. I can talk about that for a while too. But so we don't have a cap. So if you've never used your VA loan before, you can purchase a home. And I can't speak for all lenders, right? But the way the VA published the guide is if you can qualify for a $2 million property and you've never purchased a home before, that means your certificate of eligibility is free and clear. That means if you income qualify and debt and credit qualify for a $2 million property, you can put no money down. And as long as your lender allows you to do that, you can put no money down and you can go ahead and buy that property. Now, let's say I'm going to use Hawaii. I'm going to use Oahu County because that's where I'm at. Our county loan limit, there still is a county loan limit. Our county loan limit is $765,600. So let's just say 2018, you buy a $300,000 condo. Now, 2019, you turn around, you've lived in it for a year. You turn around, you're like, I want to use my VA loan again. Now the county cap applies to you. So you can get and there's a formula, but for easy math, you bought the first one for $300. Now the second one you can buy for $465,600, like the remaining entitlement. Or if you want to buy a $565,000 place, you need 25% of the difference. So $100,000 over, you need 25 grand. Now, in my case, what I've done is when I got to Hawaii, I bought a property. No money down. I waited. The market out here is insane with appreciation. I waited 2.5 years, refied it conventional, bought another place, put $40K into that in renovations, refi that conventional. So every time you refi your property conventional or you sell it, you open up your county loan limit. So what I did is I just bought like a triplex on the top of a mountain. So I was able to use mine. It's 2.2 million, but it's 3 living spaces. So I have like 7 people on the property. So it really gives like veterans a unique opportunity to buy real estate because I house hack. Like I pay 1/3 of my $2.2 million mortgage because I rent the whole thing out. So you can really be smart about it. I mean, I don't recommend like buying over what you're comfortable, but it's just like anything else. If you analyze and you're working with a good team, like, there's, I always encourage people when they move here, I'm like, look at a duplex, look at a quadplex. Like if you can afford it, like you can actually really turn around. And if you're comfortable going outside your comfort level, like build some wealth wherever you PCS and go to, So.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's one thing we talked about with the mortgage show that we did, or the housing one we did, is that veterans with PTSD and a lot of those guys, it's kind of an excuse, but they don't want to look into it. They don't want to research it. They just want to hurry up and get the contract signed. It's like, I just got to do this. I got to do this right now. I got to do it fast. And that being said, that's why I really want to partner with you. We want to partner with you is because we want to send veterans your way. We want to send veterans to somebody that we trust, that way they'll lead them the right way. That's what we do. We're the rational ones. We're the logical ones. Beckwith was logical, was my hero, but then he kind of went off the deep end a little bit. But I always looked up to guys like him. I would trust him. I looked up to guys like Dave, trusted him, and so that's what we'll get partnered up with you, and that'll be an awesome thing to send veterans your way. Whoever has questions or not knowing the right place to go.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I know like majority of people, if not like all, are probably on the mainland. And then the other thing that's really cool is when we get that thing going is like, if you think about like a loan officer on the mainland and say you're in Texas and the average property price is $200,000, like they have to make a living. So doing 15 loans a month in Texas is just as hard as doing 15 loans a month in Hawaii. The difference is the loan officer in Texas, like we're commission based, right? We make a percent of what we do. We don't charge anything. That's because we sell the loans, and that's like a whole nother thing too. It's the whole industry can be pretty complicated. But the cool thing is like our rates in Hawaii are going to smoke rates in the rest of the states because those loan officers, they probably make double or triple per transaction because our loan amount is so much higher. So that's kind of something that we're starting to focus on now is branching out and working with the other 50 states. And it's really cool to be Honolulu based. So I'm working on getting that team together and definitely appreciate it and looking forward to helping you guys out. So.
All right. Hey, I appreciate all that info. Now we did a video the other day with Dave and I with the hot pepper challenge. It's gotten a lot of views already. It's about 800. And so we want you guys to do it too. So Veteran Trash Talk, get out there. And we kind of set the bar a little low for you. The hottest we went was habanero. When you watch the video, no matter what Dave says, the video doesn't lie. Kind of like in sports, the ball don't lie. I can talk all the trash I want in foosball, but he's better than me, and the ball doesn't lie. It goes in my goal. He gets the point. When you watch the video, you'll see Dave struggling right away, and you know it was kind of sad, but he doesn't have the palate for that kind of spiciness. So, Veteran Trash Talk community, when you watch this video, you know, put your own video up on ours. We want to see the hot pepper challenge, and you know, call some people out, get together. You know, wear masks if you're in that kind of person, and do all that kind of stuff. You got to take the mask off to eat the pepper, though. I'd be curious to see what Beckwith could handle. What do you got there, Beckwith? What do you think you could handle?
First of all, I just want to say that a little birdie told me that you were throwing up, and I don't really care about the hot pepper challenge. What I wanted to see was the video of like 6 hours later when the hot pepper salsa was coming out the other end. That's the part that I wanted to see.
Buddy,
that would have been good. That would have been good.
Buddy, you know who edited the video, right? I mean, it was all Nick. You know, Nick had the footage, and then he took it home or did whatever, and then he had to edit it all. So we know. I also wonder
why Nick's bites were always so small. I didn't understand.
You didn't watch the video. The video is proof. Watch the video. You can see the bites.
I watched it. But you were taking smaller bites of a smaller pepper and then holding it by his bigger pepper and bigger bites as if it meant something. I don't get it.
That's one way to look at it. But that's an interesting second video we can make, buddy. So we could do the pepper challenge, and then 6 hours later, hey, let's videotape how you're doing. That's a good idea.
Nick, you forget
the funny thing is I'm going to my bad, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the funny thing is we did tape about an hour later after I beat your ass in foosball, and you looked crushed, man. You looked like an utter disaster, bro.
Well, that video is up there. That's still on the page.
Yeah, that's proof.
It is proof that I was drinking a lot, and that's what I do. You know, I have a good time. I came to party, and so I partied.
Nick, I have a Bakuba soccer video on deck if you need it.
Yeah, that's too easy. We should talk about that. Another argument that Dave lost at, another sporting event.
Never happened. Never happened.
So soccer is for third world countries. People can play it without shoes on rocks. And so when you put cleats on them and you put them on nice grass, they absolutely dominate. Unlike the American who's spoiled, you know, and he's been playing on turf and all stuff his whole life. And some guy from, you know, one of the like Chad comes and scores 12 goals on us because he's been playing on rocks with no shoes his whole life. All that being said, in Bakuba,
Nick led the national team.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a break, and we had this argument. And I said, "Give me 3 football players, and you can take 3 soccer players, and we're going to beat you." And that's what we did. It happened, and there is video of it. Again, we could post that as well. But again, soccer is it's cool. You know, it is the most watched sport in Uganda.
We literally kicked the tennis ball around for 2 minutes, and then Nick called it a game and said he beat me. Come on, bro. That's all.
The ball doesn't lie. The ball didn't lie, Dave. The ball didn't lie.
Did he score? Did they score in that 2 minutes? Or
hey, you don't score until you score. I'm sorry.
Well, just like he says he beat me in foosball because he won, you know, on that video that we did. He scored 2 goals, so Nick won, you know. But no, he didn't.
No, that was a win. That was a personal win. You won that one. That was a personal win for me. Getting 2 goals against you was a big deal. So let's see. What else we got on the docket? Joe, we got a fight tonight?
Yeah. You know, if Bugs didn't have my phone over here, I could look up what was happening on the card. Hang on. But they just switched over to ESPN Plus, so It's another one of the watered down cards. You know, next week, the 25th card, me and Bill Pearson have a legitimate contest, 13 series versus 11s. I know he's watching. We've already discussed the rules. It's going to be a little bit different. But that card's going to be amazing. But yeah, they got to fight. I mean, I don't know what kind of rent Dana White's paying on that island, but he's going to run a fight every single night that he can. So, yeah, it's a 1 versus 2 contender match, but they're little guys, 125ers.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, you watching UFC out there, Utah, or is that banned?
No, it's not banned yet. Yeah, not banned yet. Gambling obviously is banned. They're coming for it. They're coming for it here, but we still got it. I can still pirate the signal through, through a VPN or something. But you got to get some like fantasy going or whatever you were describing earlier before they kicked off. I get in on that. I watch pretty much every card. I'll put my picks up against any of y'all. Ball and line.
Oh, snap, Joe.
Hey,
Snap.
Hey, Bill's watching right now too. Bill's watching right now, so explain the rules.
Kyle, here's the rules. Bill already knows the rules. You ready for them? Okay. We might roll through early. Give me a moment. I'm sorry. They love me at my house. We pick. It's either the early prelims and main card, or just prelims and main card. But what we do is, you pick the fight right, you get a point. You pick how the fight ends via that person, you get 2. You pick the round and the finish, you get 3. So because a lot of people that know the UFC, me and Bill caught ourselves picking a lot of the same cards. So it's like, how do we have a challenge where we're actually this knowledgeable about it? Because like last weekend, I was like, all right, fine, I'm taking Masvidal because something had to. I really did think Max Holloway would win the fight, and I really do think that fight was a draw. But whatever.
Yeah.
Once the strap's to the other guy, you got to convincingly beat him or you lose. I mean, we all know how that works. But so Bill was like, he's down with the idea. So what the deal is, you enter your pick for each fight and closure and round. Now, obviously, if it goes to a decision and you pick decision, you can't get the 3rd bonus point, but whatever. We'll definitely throw down on it. Bill and I had a shirt for a shirt. Like he's either getting a shirt on the house or he's buying one. We'll figure something out since we're both in the apparel business.
There we go. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Shirt for socks or something. I'll buy a shirt for sure if I get outpicked. I want a shirt anyways. I'm feeling left out. Everybody's got them on.
Well,
you got to
none of them are free, Kyle. For Christ's sake, Jeopardy man.
Hey, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. What is not free for 500? Anyways, yeah, our proceeds.
I didn't say I wanted a free one. I didn't say I want a free one. I just said I want a shirt. I'll buy a shirt.
Our proceeds, some of our proceeds go to Stop Soldier Suicide, and like I said, we're going to get more proactive with that to certain specific charity for it. And every shirt we're wearing, we bought too, because why would you take money out of the charity's pockets? I just want to give, before Dave closes out, I just want to give Buddy Beckwith the last word.
Give me the last word on what? First of all right, last word. So Kyle makes socks. We make shirts. Why aren't we asking, like, why can't we make veterans anti-suicide socks? Like something like suicide socks. Boom.
I believe what you're looking for is co-branding.
Yeah. There you go. I don't know. I'm not smart. I just see opportunities. That's it.
I'm in.
Go ahead, Kyle. We got 3 good ideas. We got the co-branding with Kyle. He could talk about that. We have the UFC fantasy, and we have the follow-ups to any stupid video. See how we'll react later. So that's 3 ideas that came from the show. But Kyle, talk about the co-branding. So I guess you get the last word before Dave closes.
You just let me know what you guys want on the socks. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about how many we need to do, and we can do a small order, and we'll figure it out.
Awesome, Kyle. Hey, thanks to our guests for coming on. Some great info. To all our viewers and listeners, make sure you check out VeteranTrashTalk.com. All right, we got the merch, really nice shirts, really cool designs, and we got a lot of stuff cooking. So there's a lot more coming out. Please watch the video and the interview that Nick did yesterday. Okay, we're not here to put a black cloud over the Army, but we are here to expose some of the crap that goes on. Okay, it's not our Army, and that's not what we are about. So check that video out, check out her story. And if you're still serving, like some of us are, and you see something like that, you better get after it and you better fix it, okay? Because we do not want that in our Army. Other than that, it was a great show. Thanks again, everybody, for coming on. We'll catch you guys next Saturday. I'm out.
All right, cheers, Trash Talkers.
All right.